Hello everyone. So previously we had discussed on the topic DQ, actually double-ended queue, right? So today we'll be discussing on the topic priority queue, right? So let's see what the question states here. A priority queue is a special type of queue. Yep, it's a special type of queue where each element is associated with certain priority, right? Where each element is associated with a priority and elements are removed based on the priority, right? So this is very important. Let me read this one again. So it's a special type of queue. This is fine, where each element is associated with a priority. Yep. And elements are removed based on the priority, not the insertion order. Right? The elements are not removed based on the insertion order. Instead, the elements are removed based on the priority. Just remember this one. Yep. In a priority queue, the element with the highest priority is always processed first. Yeah, the element with the highest this one priority is always processed first, right? In Java, priority queue by default follows min heap, meaning the smallest element comes first, right? In Java, priority queue by default follows a min heap. Just remember this. So we are going with the programming language Java itself. So in Java, priority queue by default follows a minimum heap, meaning the smallest element always comes first. Yeah, just remember this one, right? So yeah, so see here, let's consider one simple example. Yeah, so see here, we have the min heap. So see, we have 2, 3, 6, this one 8 and 10, 15 and 18. So this is min heap. So what are the properties of minimum heap? See, smallest element is always on the top. See, smallest element is always on the top. So then parent value should always be less than or equal to the children value. See, 2 is having two, this one, the value 2 is having two children. One is 3 and another one is 6. 2 is less than 3 and 2 is less than 6. Yeah, so this follows the rule actually. Then let's come to the 3 here, right? So now let's come to the 3 here. We are done with this part. So 3 is less than 8 and 3 is less than 10. Yeah, 3 is less than 8 and 3 is less than 10. Yep, so this also follows the rule actually. So this is fine. Finally, we will be checking for the 6, right? 6 is less than 15. Yes, 6 is less than 15 and 18 is less than sorry, yeah, 6 is less than, sorry, 6 is less than 18 actually. Yes, 6 is less than 18. So this follows the rules correctly, right? So this is the minimum heap. And again, what are the properties of the minimum heap? This one min priority queue basically. So smallest element is always on the top. See the value 2, right? Parent value has to be less than or equal to children values. We check the same thing actually. Yep. So Java priority queue uses this by default. Just remember this one, Java's priority queue. So uses the minimum heap or the min priority queue by default actually. Yeah. Smallest element always comes first, right? Is always at the top actually. You can just remember in this way. Yep. So this is fine, I believe. Next, let's move on with the maximum heap. Yep, or the max heap, right? So the same thing, instead of the smallest element which will be always on the top, so the highest element will be always on the top here, right? The highest element or the largest element is always at the top. Parent value will be greater than or equal to the children values. And finally, this is achieved in Java using comparator dot reverse order. And again, I had already said this one. By default in Java, by default, Java uses this one minimum heap, meaning so this one min priority queue, right? So if you want to make use of the max priority queue or the max heap, so we have to go with comparator dot reverse order, right? Comparator dot reverse order with a parenthesis. Yep, comparator dot reverse order, right? So this is fine, I believe. So again, so let's do the same thing here. Largest element is always on the top, 15. Yep. So next we will check this one. 15 has to be greater. So the next point was parent value has to be greater than the children values, right? So here 15 greater than 10. Yes, 15 is greater than 10. Yep. So this is fine. Next 15 is greater than 12. Yes, 15 is greater than 12. Yep. So this is fine. Yep. This follows the rules. Next, let's check for the 10 as well as the 12. 10 is greater than 5. Yep, 10 is greater than 5. Yep, so this is fine. Then finally 10 is greater than 2. Yep, 10 is greater than 2. Yep, so this also works fine, right? Accordingly with the rules. So next 12 is greater than 1 and 12 is greater than 6. Yes, 12 is greater than 1 and 12 is greater than 6. Yeah. So the parent key here is greater than or equal to the child key. Yep. So it might be equal as well. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is fine, I believe. Yep. So this is it for the min heap as well as the max heap or minimum priority queue or the maximum priority queue. Yep. Just remember this. This is it for the min heap and the maximum priority or max heap. Right. So minimum priority queue, smallest element is always at the top. Parent value is less than or equal to children values and achieved in the Java use normally. So by default, Java uses min heap or min priority queue. Next, this one max heap, largest element is always on the top. This one 15. Parent value is always greater than or equal to children value. Just now we discussed the same actually. This is achieved in Java using comparator dot reverse order. Yep. So this is fine. Yep. So see, one of the simple examples here. Mm, 1 second. Yeah. One of the simple example for the min heap actually. Just ignore this one for now. Min heap and max heap. This diagram. So suppose we have 40, 10, 30 as well as the 20, right? So within the priority queue. So if we are considering the minimum priority queue, so this one 10 will always be at the top. Just remember this one. Yeah. Same goes with the this one. Similar thing with the this one. What do we call maximum priority queue actually? The top contains 40 instead of the 10. Yeah. So this is fine, I believe. So this is it for the priority queue actually, minimum priority queue as well as the maximum priority queue. Right. Now let's try to understand the same thing with the help of this one code actually. So let's do one thing. I'll just go with 1 second. Yeah. I'll just go with import java.util. Let me go with the priority queue actually. So this is fine. I'll just go with class main. So let me call the main method here. So within the main method, the first thing, let's create the priority queue of integers, right? So again, I had stressed this one multiple times. Java uses minimum heap or min heap by default. Yeah, we are creating a priority queue of integers. So I'll just go with priority queue. So this is fine. I'll just go with integer. This is fine. So let me do one thing. I'll just go with I here, this one integer, and let me go with PQ equals new priority queue. So this one, yep. So this is fine. Next, what we'll be doing. So after successfully creating a priority queue of integers, and also we know that Java in Java minimum heap, yeah, minimum heap will be considered by default, right? So let's add some elements to the priority queue. Right, I'll just go with pq dot add of, so 40, let's add 40, 10, 30, 20. That is the example that I showed earlier, right? So I'll just go with 40 here. Let me copy the same thing actually and paste this one sometimes. I'll just go with 4 times here, right? So it every single element that is present in the priority queue comes with certain priority, right? So I'll just consider different elements here. 10, 30 as well as the 20, right? So this is fine. So we have inserted 40, we have inserted 10, we have inserted 30 as well as we have inserted 20. First, what we will be doing here. So let's remove and print the elements one by one. Let's remove and print the elements one by one. So I'll just go with while pq. So yeah, I'll just check whether it shouldn't be empty, right? Priority queue shouldn't be empty. So that is the reason I have made use of the while loop here. It should consist of at least one element, right? So we are just removing and printing the elements one by one. So let's make use of the poll property that is provided by the priority queue. So poll property, what it does, let me explain you. Just listen to this carefully. Poll removes and returns the smallest element. Poll, what it does, it removes and returns the smallest element. See, I can just write it in this way. Index equals pq dot poll. Yep. So this is fine. It removes and returns the smallest element. Yeah, in our case, the smallest element is 10. Yeah, it has to remove 10 and return that element itself, right? It has to remove 10 and return 10. Yep, so this is fine. Next, let's print the removed element. Yeah, let's print the removed element, right? I'll just go with a system out println here. So let me go with X and let me leave the space so that this looks good. Yep, so this is fine. Let me run this one now. Yeah, so we are getting the output 10, 20, 30, 40. So what we are doing now, so we are making use of the property poll here. Poll, what it does, it removes and returns the smallest element, right? So we have added 40, 10, 30 as well as the this one 20, right? In Java, minimum heap is by default. So what it does, the poll, so it selects the, it removes and returns the smallest element. First, it this one, what do we call? First, it removes 10 and returns the smallest element, nothing but 10. Yeah, so here we can see the 10. Second, it removes the 20 and returns 20, nothing but the smallest element, right? So third, we are left with 30 and 40 now. So which is the smallest among 30 and 40? 30 is the smallest element. It removes the 30 and returns 30, right? So we are left with only 40 in the priority queue. Now 40 will be the smallest element. It removes 40 and returns 40, right? So we have got the 40 here. So which is absolutely correct. We have got the desired output here, right? So it removes. So this one we can just consider remove, and this one we can just consider return actually. Yeah. Same thing. Pole property, it removes and returns the smallest element. It um, that's what it had it has done here, right? We can see 10, 20, 30, 40 in the order, right? Yep. So this is fine. Now we are done with the priority queue. So we are done with the priority queue data structures. Let's do one thing. Let's discuss the this one. What do we call? Real world applications basically. Yeah, some of the real world applications of the priority queue. So basically priority queue will be, or we can just make use of the priority queue within the CPU scheduling, or it is used in the CPU scheduling actually. Yeah, this is one of the thing. The next one, so we make use of the priority queue in the Dijkstra's algorithm. Yeah, usually if you know the Dijkstra's, so we will be making use of the priority queue itself, right? Within the Dijkstra's algorithm. So for the shortest path computation or the shortest path calculation, this one within the Dijkstra's algorithm, we will be making use of the priority queue, right? And so we will be making use of the priority queue for the task scheduling systems as well. When I say task scheduling systems, so usually I think so this one to handle the urgent tasks, right? Earlier itself. So we'll be making use of the priority queue based on certain priority itself, right? So we have to go. So we can make use of the, or we will be making use of this one priority queue within the task scheduling systems. Then, so we will be making use of the this one priority queues within the heap sort algorithms as well. Yep, heap sort algorithm as well. Sorry, heap sort algorithm. Then we will be making use of, or we make use of the this one priority queue within the emergency room systems as well. So this is one of the important this one, what do we call, application as well. Emergency room systems, in the sense patients are treated by severity, right? So patients are treated by the severity. For that we make use of the priority queue. Yep. So these are some of the real world applications of the priority queue. Now let's come to the last part, nothing but the complexities part, right? So what will be the time complexity? Time complexity, let's consider for the insertion, deletion, as well as the peak actually, as well as the peak actually. Yep. So insertion is nothing but add, right? We will be making use of the add property, or priority queue provides add for the insertion, and heap needs rebalancing after insertion, right? So usually, not usually, the time complexity would lead to big of logarithmic n. Yeah, for the insertion, it this one priority queue provides add property. Yeah, for the deletion, we will be making use of the poll. So I had made use of the poll itself within the example while I consider the example. Yeah, we saw that one in the action. Anyways, so priority queue provides pole operation for the removal, and the time complexity would lead to big O of logarithmic n itself. Yeah, so this is fine. Next, let's move on with the peak actually. So to have the access to the top element, the priority queue provides peak operation. Yep, priority queue provides peak operation actually. So this one top element, actually I can just write here top element. So that time complexity would lead to big of 1, because we have the direct access to the root. right? When it comes to the root, we have direct access, so it leads to the big of 1. Deletion big of log n, because heap reorders after removal, it would lead to big of log n. Insertion, it would be big of log n, because heap needs rebalancing after this one insertion, right? So the time complexity for the insert, deletion, as well as the peak would be big of log n, big of log n, and big of 1 respectively. Now what would be the space complexity here? Space complexity would lead to big of n, right? So why it is big of n here? Because it stores the n elements inside the heap or priority queue. So overall space complexity would lead to big of n, right? So the time complexity we have already discussed. For the insertion, it is big of log n. For the deletion, it is big of log n. And for the peak, it is big of 1. And for the this one, space complexity would lead to big of n as well, because we can store n elements inside we have to store n elements inside the heap. So overall space complexity quite obviously leads to the big of n. Right, so this is it for the priority queue. Right, so we have successfully discussed queue, dequeue, as well as the priority queue. Next, let's move on with the main thing, nothing but the hash map. Next, we'll be discussing about the hash map data structure. Right, so for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.